Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys taking part of the Factory Food Challenge and humoring me and hopefully everybody that's watching during the quarantine. So real quick, I just want to tell everybody about the challenge and then kind of get your guys' input on your ingredients. Looked like both dishes were pretty great. So the Factory Food Challenge was taking different ingredients with factory. For F, it was fish. For A, it was apple. For C, it was cheese. T, tomato. R was rice. And Y was your choice. So let's start backwards. And Emily, you want to tell me what your choice was?
My choice ingredient was dill. I used it as a seasoning across all of the major components of my dish.
Okay. And Zach?
Well, I definitely had to go with what Luke told me not to use, which was alcohol. So we went with white wine for the risotto.
Okay. And fish obviously was probably the toughest ingredient. I know a couple of judges backed out when they heard they had fish. So tell me which fish you chose and why.
I picked swordfish. I grew up eating swordfish. It's a very New England fish. And I know it's a hearty fish and it's kind of a little bit rich. And I wanted something that was kind of going to stand up really well and almost kind of give you the idea that you were eating something a little heavier than just fish.
Okay, great. Zach?
So I chose Atlantic cod. It's a very light, flaky whitefish, mild flavor, so it can take on a lot of different flavor profiles. And knowing that I had to use multiple ingredients and flavor combinations, I figured that would work best for my dish.
Okay. And tell me about your use of olives. Olives is probably one of the more random ingredients in there. I know Emily, you use Kalamata olives.
Yes, I did. I'm personally not a big fan of olives. So I had to kind of resort back to my knowledge of olives and cuisines where you find olives. And that led me to the Mediterranean region, which kind of gave me some of the ideas of using things like dill and olives with the tomatoes to make kind of a relish on top.
Okay. And Zach, you did olive in a garnish, is that right?
The olive I used was in the relish. I think Emily and I were kind of on the same track. In order to get olives with fish, it kind of puttanesca relish is kind of a standard thing that goes well with fish. It's with tomatoes and other ingredients like that. Also, I use olive oil to fry the fish. I use olive oil for my risotto, and that's how I incorporated that one. It's definitely tricky ingredient to use, and I also use Kalamata olives. They're the go-to when it comes to olives.
Oh, okay. All right. Any of the ingredients give you a particular hard challenge in your planning?
I was a little frustrated with the apple. When I first saw apple and started thinking about apple, all of the apples that came to mind are what I use for baking, which are usually a sweeter apple, a Macintosh or whatever. And so it took me a little bit of thinking to get to the idea that you've got Granny Smith apples that are a little bit tart and almost offer, in a way, almost an acidic cut because they're so tart. And that I connected that with the lemon juice and the dill, and I started thinking tzatziki, and so I just kind of went with it.
Okay, and Zach, how about you?
I'm gonna have to agree. The apple is definitely tough. Aside from the olive, the apple is definitely the next toughest ingredient. Trying to figure out a way to incorporate it into a savory dish was, like Emily said, it's more dessert-wise kind of thing. And then I thought about the slaw, and I thought that would be a good complement to the warm hot risotto. You get the crisp, crunchy of the slaw with the coldness also. So that's how I thought it would work best.
All right. Any other comments on the process, your experience?
Nope, I had a lot of fun with being in quarantine. I'm not doing a lot of out of the box cooking. We're sticking to a lot of the standards to kind of keep things moving and flowing, and so it was kind of nice to break that up with something interesting and different.
Well, appreciate you doing that, Emily.
Well, it was definitely a lot of fun for me. have a background in cooking like this, and I with my current job now, I don't get a chance to utilize the skills that I've obtained. And like you said, just something to do, something else to do in these times where we're stuck at home. And I got the whole family involved. My kids helped me throughout the way. The wife yelled at me for making too much noise while she was working in the other room. But it was definitely a fun thing to do. I tasted Emily's dish too. It was fantastic. I'm glad that she agreed to do it. And next time we got to get Danny in there.
Yeah, definitely. Be nice to see Danny, and it is nice to use the skills. Zach just said it. I also have a background in cooking, and I also have a job where while I'm cooking, I'm not really using a lot of the heavy duty skills that I have from my experience. And so it's always nice to kind of pull those out and dust them off and get involved.
So one final question. You guys got any recommendations for any of those ninjas that are at home? If they're interested in cooking or healthy activities for physical, kind of endeavors.
If you're interested in cooking, the best place to start is, in my opinion, a cookbook. I'm sure your moms and dads have one. I'm sure you own one. Pick a recipe and work your way through it. If you don't know something, we are blessed to live in the age of the internet. Look it up, check it out, ask questions, and don't be afraid to try it.
Yeah, that's great advice. I would also say, listen, we're all ninjas, right? And we love challenges. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. Try something that's out of the box. Try something different. The only way to figure out if you can do it is if you try. And like Emily said, try. Look up. There's plenty of resources out there. The internet's fantastic one to get ideas from. I like to scroll through the internet, get some ideas, and I kind of turn it into my own. I make it my own personal dish. We all have our own personal flair and style. So get creative with it and have fun. Make it a family project too. Make it a family project. Do it with the whole family. Sit down and have one kid pick a dinner recipe one night, and everybody come together and try and make it.
Okay, well, again, thank you guys both for participating. It was a lot of fun, and we'll see what happens next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mammy, can you guess what I renamed our thing? What?
So we're gonna talk about both dishes. Zach's dish had a beautiful presentation.
Yes, I
We
agree.
definitely put a
Sure,
lot of
I
thought
agree with
and
that.
effort into the presentation of the dish.
Different colors.
Different colors.
How's it smell too?
The big hint for me of Zach's plate was the smell, because bringing to my childhood of my country, we're just walking on the street getting fish. On Emily's, I do totally like the combination of it. It was just such a good flavor combination on them. They separated like in the same mouth. So it was pretty mystical.
Yeah, I like that she put a challenge on herself and used swordfish. Tough to find around here, and she did a really good job cooking it. It was very tender.
Oh yeah. It was my first time trying swordfish too, so I was very intrigued and interested in trying it.
All right, for both plates, they look like they are having all of the ingredients. Well, we have the fish, which is gonna be swordfish and cod, and then we got apples, both of them. The other one was a little mixture. The one was more into a salad. Cheese, I think it's saw the fish on side. What was the cheese?
Oh, palm crisp.
Yeah.
The
The
palm
Parmesan
crisp.
with the cheese
Oh,
one. Yeah.
I love palm crisp.
Exactly. Yeah, that was a really good one too. Both of them were really healthy dishes as well. Yeah, I don't know which one is gonna be. Do you guys have any decisions?
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
a
don't,
tough choice right now for
Yeah.
me.
You guys?
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
still
did you guys
deciding.
find anything not so great about either dish?
Not really. Not I can't talk bad about them because they're not making me cook. But I just found them perfect for me. Like they were
I think
perfect.
the rice on Emily's was maybe just a little dry, maybe a little more sauce on top, where we could have mixed it in a little bit more.
True
Give
that.
that rice a little bit more.
I don't know about the sauce to be honest because I don't know. It was a good combo. Like I just like the sauce for
It
sure.
was a good
Like,
combo. Like you said.
I think if it's about sauce, it was a perfect amount. So, well, we're gonna have to.
What about anything with Zach?
He forgot the dessert.
What? No dessert?
He forgot the dessert.
He
I
makes
didn't
us
even
dessert.
know that.
but
Negative
he
points for
forgot
me.
to put it on
Negative
the plate.
points.
Well, yeah, that
Okay.
totally will take him points.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a tough decision.
But he did add palm crisp. I love palm crisp.
I like
It could
the
be a dessert
smell.
almost in itself.
You're
You
right.
know, a
it's
luxury
true.
treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did forgot it, and he didn't meant to put it on the plate, so it's gonna be a tough
If you go to a
decision.
restaurant, you ask for your meal, and like, oh, sorry, we forgot this.
Yeah, you.
That's negative points right there.
Yeah, for
It is.
sure. The tips on the waiters are gonna be
Yeah.
low. Are gonna be really low. All right, cool.
You
I
guys
think
we got it?
I think we have it. I think we have it.